Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be doing a talk and it's called The Simple Way to Reach Enlightenment Each Day. And I'm going to show you how simple the journey is as the soul, as the spiritual being, having this human experience. And we've overcomplicated everything that we do in life. We haven't been taught properly. We've had a lot of things taken away from us, a lot of things hidden from us, a lot of things that have been reconstructed and manipulated to fit an agenda. And the word of God is a powerful word. And I really feel it's a word that has too many limitations around it, when if we understood the true meaning of the word and we give it the description, it changes everything. And I've realized that there's a lot of people that have delivered the message of Christ, delivered the message of God over the years. And it's been construed in a way that it stops us from finding God. And then when you start going on this journey, people, you'll start seeing how it is so much more simple than we've ever been told. You're going to realize, well, I've had it the whole time. That's the beauty of this, it's love. So I'll wait for people to come on. I just realized when these videos start, people just jump on and they get a strange little intro. So I'm going to be a bit more specific with the intro, and I'm hoping you'll come on a journey with me. Hey people, hey Cherry, hey Jenna. So we're in December now. It's the 2nd of December 2023, and it's been a really interesting week for me. It's a spiritual journey that we're all on, and this is from my own personal experience too. The signs have been popping up everywhere. So I've ran a number of courses over the last year, my own creation, my authentic self, my work. It's magic, and it's really helped myself, and it's helped a lot of other people along the way. And my whole life has completely changed compared to what I did before. I was a coach, I was a personal trainer. I then started soul coaching. And then when I stepped into the truth movement, I literally lost everything in terms of business and work and clients and referrals and testimonials. So I've had to really navigate through this. Sold my car, went into my savings, and my ego goes off all the time. And I had another course that started yesterday, or was due to start yesterday. And this week, I've had so many signs, and I cancelled it yesterday, and it was quite last minute when I cancelled. And I said I'd come on and explain my reasons why on there for the people that did sign up. And I'm a man of my word now. I definitely know I'm on a mission, and I definitely know that what I'm doing is right in terms of the bigger picture, the awakening, the spiritual battle and the war that we find ourselves in, and also my role as a messenger. And throughout the month, I didn't have many sign-ups at all. And going into this week, I only had 3 people initially. And all week, like, I was having uncomfortable feelings coming up, like a stress. I haven't been experiencing that at all. But I just thought that's my ego going off. And then it was the different signs that just kept coming up. Messages coming through on my phone, people reconnecting, even like music that pops up, and it's like it's talking to me, sign after sign. So I'd almost set out to say that I'm not doing the course earlier in the week. And it's, when you've made a decision and then all of a sudden you feel like you're fighting against it. And then literally on the last day, 3 more people signed up. And I even sent a welcome email out and say, look, we're going to start today. And it was a stress. Like my whole body was no. And the night before, I did a really powerful meditation. Had an interesting evening. The spiritual war that we're in, there's a lot of attacks coming at the moment as well. And I'm seeing them. It's good. It's fine. But I'm noticing it a lot more. It's almost like enhanced. So I'm cautious. I'm a bit wary and stuff. So I went into a really deep meditation. I asked questions. Like, show me, like, where we are right now. What is it? And the word was service. And it was service to get this message out to as many people as I can. And that's been another frustration for me throughout this, is the restrictions and the way that I've been blocked on certain accounts, but in terms of sharing information and stuff as well. So I kind of weighed it up. But my role for service at the moment I feel it's huge where we are. And I feel this awakening is so important for the individual, which we kind of missed. And we're looking outside all the time. We're watching a movie. We're getting caught up in the drama. We're getting shocked with all the different things going on. And that word service come out, and it was Christ Mass. So the course was called Illumination, Soul Revive Illumination, different format. And there was going to be a series of Zoom calls in a group. And even just from that as a concept in my meditation, there were still walls. I still felt trapped. And it was almost like be free with it. So it hit me really hard this week. It was for service. It is the collective consciousness. It's showing people that all of us are children of God. All of us can tap into that God space anytime. Whatever your past is, you can tap into it now. And if you then stand in that, if you then stay in that flow, if you then own that as a truth, you're in God's space. No one else can judge you at that point. So my message is to everyone, get on this journey. And I'm going to go live all throughout the month. I'm up in it now. I'll be back on Rumble as well. I've got a bit of an explosive one tomorrow. So I'd encourage people to come there. And it's just information, it's content. However, once we start tuning into this stuff and then bring it inwards, and my encouragement, what I'm going to show you today was a bit of the course. However, all of this is the mind. All of this is like a presentation. It's meaning, it's understanding. And what people have yet to experience is the meditations, is the soul coaching, the real soul coaching within those meditations. And I realized all the power is always within there. And I am grateful for the people that did sign up for it. They are people that have supported me all the way through. And I know some egos went off to think, oh, it was a personal I pulled out because of, and it wasn't that at all. This was all through me. And these teachings, I'm going to try to put it in a way where you're going to want to come and do the next meditations over this month. So I do live meditations every day, 5 days a week. That's going to be continuous out December as well. They're important because what I've realized is flow is God. God is Christ. Christ is the awakener. Christ is all of us. So if we then show up each day as the soul, every day's a new day. The sun shows up each day. The sun is you, the son of God, God and his son. Then you're in that flow space every day. You've done what you've set out as the soul in this human experience, is to know thyself. And the only way you do that is as the spirit. As the spirit, then you are one with the Holy Spirit. So that comes from meditation. People have resistance to it. People will badmouth it. People say, I've done it before. These are not normal meditations. These are deep journeys that people go on. I feel like I'm a portal. I'm a facilitator. And I am a coach. I help people get their own answers, ask deep-rooted questions, and really get people taken out of that mind space of ego. Then becoming aware of ego, looking back into the body, which you then see as perfection. So the last part of this course, and I will add this into the month of it, is our body. A 3D experience, we hear about that. And we're going to 5D. 3D, though, this is the big thing. We don't know 3D. We haven't experienced 3D at all. In fact, we're so limited in terms of our knowledge on the body. And I'm saying that from someone that has a lot of knowledge on the body with the fitness world that I was in, and also my role within the fitness industry. I was known as one of the best for transformations. I had 2 successful gyms for 12 years. So I thought I knew the body. Not even close, not even a smidget compared to what has been coming up for me now. Everything we've been taught is too overcomplicated. Every individual muscle is a lie. When they say don't lock your joints out, that's the biggest myth. You have to. And I'm going to show you different things along the way. As soon as you know your body more, with awareness, with love, with creation, with imagination, everything changes. So we have a structure inside our body with all the fibers, all the fascia system. And I feel like we're in shackles from our own body. And I've tapped in how to manipulate the body, any aches and pains that you have, the whole awareness to the body. And every day you're learning about yourself. One of my writings from 2020 was, if you knew the body 100%, you would be God. Because if you knew your body 100%, that means any energy that you're in the space with, which means conversations with other people, 100% you could read them too. You're God. That makes so much more sense now. Your body is God. We just need to tap into it and learn what it can really do. And the more awareness we have for our body, the more then we can go into the 4D space with inspiration from the body, with inspiration from the creation outside of us. And then you start seeing how we all connected. We all have our unique gifts. We all have passions that we're going to tap back into. And we're all going to start finding out so much more about ourselves. So that was the intro to this. So welcome. Hi, Terry. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Carol. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Helen. I hope you are in a better headspace tonight and more rested. Yeah, much better. I've been listening to a lot of stuff at the moment. The Bhagavad Gita, by the way, you have to listen to that. It simplifies Christianity even more. It simplifies religion, God, hell. It's amazing. And there was a few things that when I clicked on that one, it was talking directly to me at the right point. And it's devotion to God. And I can imagine now if my mates saw me, and I feel like they've seen some of the stuff, they must have think I've just turned into a preaching nutcase. I'm obsessed with God and everything now, but it's not God with a beard floating in the sky. It's not we're a sinner. It's not you're waiting for someone to come and save you. It's God within us. God's description and all the descriptions that I've received about him or it's not even a nice word, about the creator, doesn't even come close to what's being experienced now. And it's simple. So my focus today, I might put the thing on. My focus today is just to show you how my mind works, to really simplify it so you get it into your head and then leave the door open for you to take this into your own experiences. And throughout your day and throughout your life, can you start implementing this as well with just awareness? And you'll see it's for me, it makes life so much easier. So I'll slow down a tiny bit now. So we've got the Bible, the story of God, the story of Jesus, New Testament, Old Testament. Then we've got loads of other religions. And for me, it's been so overcomplicated. It makes sense why people have had to put all these stories in to give us a instruction manual to help us ascend, to be enlightened, to find God, to find the truth, to know ourselves. And you'll see why it's so important for the people that do all they can to stop God and what they've done in the process to try to hide it from us. The one beautiful thing about where I am now on my journey is the English language. The English language is, I'd say, the most modern of languages. And the explorers back in the day, the clever, the ascended masters, the real scientists, they learnt from all the other different countries. And they've mastered from Latin, which was based on time. There's a past, there's a present, and a future way tense. There's also a male and female definitions of words or descriptions. The English language, and also there's a structure. You have to say it a certain way or you're wrong. The English language is just enhanced that a bit more. And it gives us free will. It gives us so much more choices. It really puts in duality as well, which is a big part of this human experience that we've kind of skipped over and are avoiding the basics and not looking at logical thinking, which is either a yes or a no, and it's an obvious no. And you'll see it's going to be really simple. So the way that I work when I deliver my meditations, I get into my own space. It's definitely God's space because the words come out of me in complete flow. And because it's a slow tempo, when I say certain words now, I get the meanings from the words. So the English language is also magical because it leaves clues in plain sight. Within the words, there'll be 2 or 3 words that are telling you the truth. We've got words that have the same sound but different meanings, or we have words that are they sound the same but they're spelt differently. So again, different meanings. However, that adds into the element of this 3-part being: body, mind, soul. I always work in 3s. So just to give you an example, when you have a gut feeling, there's a knowing, a know inside the body. When anything that's not that feeling at the mind, you have a choice and you get to say no. Say a no in, no. And when you know, it's I know as the soul. So soul is I know, mind is no, body is no in. And you can do that with most of the words. Anything with ing on the end is in. So the other example is the word meant. Enjoyment. If you pay attention to what it actually says, in another language is in. Enjoy mind. Bring your mind inside your body, then enjoy. Empowerment. Your mind is powerful. Empower mind. Embodiment. In body, mind. Mind in body. Clues are all there. Corporate world gives you a world called mindfulness. You don't want your mind to be full. It's mind stillness, mind calmness. Then you can start seeing how the duality works. There's deceivers in this world that know language, know spells, know the way that the legal system works, and we trap ourselves with the words that we choose to speak. And they've been doing that for a long time. The duality, however, is every negative word that's spoken as opposite as a positive. When you speak positive, that is the soul, that is a truth. So people are unable to lie without showing the signs if you're speaking truth. Can't do it. Your body will then show you. So let me 2 seconds. Right, so let's go on my YouTube. So I'm going to do a simple presentation. And again, for the people that did sign up for the course, you know this stuff. So this will look basic. However, this is the mind, the experience, and the way that I've worked out how we can have some real fun with our soul. When you see the images, which is how our mind works, not words, then you're going to be able to really enhance your experiences within the meditations. So let me. And I've come from a non-religious background. I come from a non-spiritual background. I didn't care about any of that stuff. It didn't mean anything to me. If you said the word God, I was put off. I saw used to go up London every now and then. You see the preachers with their big megaphone on, and you're like, you're nutcase. No one's listening to you. That was me all the time, and didn't believe in God. Like, that's a scary thought now, but I didn't believe in God. Now I know it's God. I know it's me. I'm going to show you again today. This is the hardest truth for people to accept, that we are gods. People argue with you and they say it's blasphemy what I'm saying, but it even tells us in the Bible many times that we are gods. So Christ consciousness, when they say Christ comes down to save you, or Jesus Christ comes down, I'm going to show you again how simple it is. So, people, let me share the screen. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do a number of different sorts of presentations like this throughout this month as well. I just feel this is a really easy way to teach. This is how my mind works as well. And I draw a lot on my pads every day now. That's part of my routine. So I let things flow out of me. However, this is an even better way for me to explain things. So for me, this simplifies it even more. Anyone that tries arguing with you with this will not watch this. And if you do watch this, there's no way that you can argue with it. You're just getting in the way. It's the most simple explanations. And again, a lot of the truth about our spiritual aspect is being kept, I guess. And I, what's the best way? Other countries already know this. Old cultures, this was just normal to them. Like it's a normal thing knowing that you're God in India. However, over the last, let's say, 100 years, a lot of the way that information is delivered to us has been suppressed. I feel it's for a reason because we all have to go through this at once. It's a time in this awakening where we are going to clear out evil and darkness. We're going to expose it all. We're going to see for it what it's worth. We're going to go through it, part of the human experience, which most of us are starting to come out the other side of it. And then we're going to see how simple our life is at a foundation. And then beyond that, what we got to come. For me, the body part is changing each day. Everything's changing for me just from just playing around with my body, little things. And once you start feeling your own body, you see, like, how are we not being taught this? So I'm just trying to figure out a way how I can get the chat. I'll put it on my phone. Right. So, people, this is the way that I'd like to encourage you to start translating words, especially when you're with your eyes closed in your meditations, using sort of images like this that work for you. Because if I say to you, think of your favorite teacher growing up or a favorite mentor, straight away you can think of that person, right? Quite quickly. Was that an image that come up? You see them. This is how our mind works. The creative side. We've been suppressed and also indoctrinated to learn through words. And we have to really think about finding the right word to describe our experience. So, all the clues are in God's creation. Let me just get my YouTube up. So this is a way that my mind always works now. I'm always looking for the clues. Here we go. Talking about the English language, I have a real interest in it and how it sometimes makes me chuckle. Free cash machine. I want to go and ask for my free cash. Free cash machine. I want to go ask my free cash. You're going to be worth all the cash in the world after you learn this stuff. Like this is the monetary system. It's our knowledge. Okay. So for today's description, it's reaching enlightenment. And I'm going to ask people first of all, when you hear that word, to reach enlightenment, what is that to you? And I'm going to ask you to be honest, have you reached enlightenment? It's a word that's thrown out a lot. Let's add another words in there. Spiritual awakening. Have you had a spiritual awakening? What does that mean? Because the spiritual journey, that's the word that you see all the time. That's the phrase you say. It's a spiritual awakening. All these teachers, I've had a spiritual awakening. I had it at this time and I went here and something happened. And it was magic. And these enlightenments and these moments, some of them are so magical, and it's like a one-off. Spiritual awakenings every day, enlightenments every day. If we just look at the word, literally, enlight in mind. If we're waiting for an enlightenment, that's like waiting for God. That's like waiting for a savior. That's waiting and putting your life on hold. That's waiting for something outside of you to take place. That's stressful. That means you're not present. So I'm going to ask people to come on this journey with me with certain words as well, and catch yourself when you go back to your older way of thinking about certain words or certain sayings. As an example, that's not who I am. I don't normally do that. Those sayings are gone. That's your past. That's not who I am. Well, who are you then? We describe ourselves on our old self, which is not there anymore. Change the way that you speak about yourself. And when we say things like, I'm not good at sleeping, I'm not good at this, it's because you're telling yourself, change it. I choose not to do this. I have interest in other things. I have passions in other things. Replace it with a positive one. So, saying that you're God, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want that responsibility. A lot of people would run from that idea. A lot of others would tell you, no, no, no. Anyone who tells you no, they've never found God. Or, let me rephrase that, God's with them all the time. They're not noticing it. They're fine-tuning to one thing that they think God is, and they're waiting their whole life when it's here now. God is love. God is peace. God is stillness. God is easy. God is simple. God is bliss. That's God. And God, I'm going to show you again that word God. When I said change your images, you're taking off it. The word God, try to think as everything, just creation, love, energy, dark, light. If you can try getting a concept, it's everything that you see, your experience. However, when we look out just for our perspective, that's what we can see. So we're going to use the outside world to give examples of how we can then compare structures, which are always based on us, and nature, which we then learn from, because that's God's creation, and that's the imagination and inspiration from something like that. Then we can make a building. Does that make sense? So we use God's creation to get our inspiration, and in our creation we come out with a light bulb moment, enlightenment, and then we think, oh, I know, I'm going to make this. I've seen a problem and I found a solution. I found a way that I can improve my experience. I can make my experience slightly easier. Peace within, I have now every day. Perfect. That's God every day. That peace as well, Cherry, blissful, right? And sometimes we go in there, if you looked at it on time, 1 hour max a day, some cases 10 minutes a day. That's perfect, because time's illusion. If you just do it every day, but when you're in that space, you're like, oh, I'm here, I'm back, I'm home. Then you don't have to stress. I'm with God. God's told me what to do. I go with the flow now. I've healed. I've quietened my mind. I've gone into creation. I've got loads to be joyful of. Let me just put my music on so I can put this. I like to talk on one song because it gives me a flow. So we're going to use the mountain, and I like the way that we can use the English language, again telling us in plain sight. No, the cash machines state free cash withdrawals, as opposed to some machines charging you. I see. Thank you, Helen. We may be using that soon. We'll get the technology that's coming is magical. So, mountain, your body, and a pyramid. Illumination, the pyramid is a great way to explain that to you. we're going to go on the journey and see if you can flip between the three. As soon as you start realizing they're all the same, you go hiking up the mountain. What are you? High king. When you're at the top of the mountain, all you've got is God's creation all around you. You're now in 5D, a whole 360 view, depth, expansiveness. Like it's magic. And everything that's out of the blue is there for a reason. You saw that. That's a sign. So, high king. Your pyramid is your inner temple. The inner temple is your body, which God lives. It's God's kingdom. So, high king, inner temple, temples, inner. It's all within you. So, again, they've been showing us the word Illuminati. They're so bad. As soon as you see that this is for us to find God, how can Illuminati be bad when all of it is based on the pyramids? We all see the pyramids in Egypt and Mexico and many other places around the world. And we've been told that they were made a long time ago. We've also been shown that the way that they've been made, we still wouldn't be able to recreate that now. Even with our technology, it wouldn't be able to be recreated. So we know that they've been built for something a bit higher up than what we're even aware of. And also the enhancement of the world that we have been in before and the way that it has been made, etc. That shows that we got a lot to step into. So we talk about the dimensions, and a big thing throughout this awakening is going to 5D. We hear the phrase 3D to 5D, and we skip out 4D. These are dimensions. When people talk about 5D ascension, quantum, galactic, spiritual, source, creator, divinity, all of it is the still same. It's the journey of the soul. If I can then share with you how I've labeled it from 1D to 5D, but try to get out of the way that the numbers increase, there's values, and 5 is higher than 1, etc. Try to take away one's more powerful than the other. We start with oneness. That's God. That's the star. That's the sun. That's the all-seeing eye, source energy. We're going to use the star in the sky because it makes sense then when we come onto the second dimension. So as I said today, this is mind, and I'm explaining, I'm presenting, and it gives a lot of meaning. And we could take this away and go, oh, this is so simple. I already know this. That 1D is everything. And when you go into the meditations, you find this place of bliss. Some people watching, I know, that do breath work, and they've gone into those moments where they just lost their self. It was, you're gone. You're completely gone. If people have done plant medicine, DMT, 5-MeO, Bufo, you'll know what that means. If you've done that, you found God on every other level that cannot be described in any word whatsoever. That's God. That just shows you how far we've got to go as the soul. It kind of just gives you a big soul slap and a soul shake to show you, look what I can do. So we're having a human experience now. We're going to work in the 5 dimensions. When you're in that space, time disappears. When you're in that space, you forget. It's like a dream and it just vanished, poof, gone. And I can show you how quickly our human experience, we forget things. So I'm going to ask you all to remember what foods that you ate for dinner from 3 weeks ago, from Monday to Friday. It's just gone. Magic. But at the time you were there, you were cooking. You really have to think about what, that's God. It's just gone. That's the journey of the creator. So when you're in that space, there is no way that you can know what's going on. So we call it the gap. And I like to call it the gap. And the way I've been explaining the gap is It's consciousness. It's the Tao. The moment you're aware that you're in it, you're not in it anymore. It's just bliss. It's nirvana. They call it samadhi in the Vedics. And you can only know about it when you've been in there. This is what a lot of the scriptures are telling us as well. It's not something that can be explained to you and then you go and search for those words. My words don't do it justice. It points you in the right direction, and it may take a number of times where you've actually been in there, but you don't click. That's it. And there have been moments within this human experience where you've had, I'm going to call it these divine moments. So for me, I explained one in Hawaii. It was a sunrise at the highest mountain in the world, Mauna Kea, 33,000 feet. And I remember that morning, I was in awe, lost for words. It was a silence. And I know what that is now. It's in that silence, your heart stops beating. It's complete emptiness. It's hollowness. I'm getting tingles talking about that now. And I've never been able to capture that before. I remember, and it stayed with me, and I get inspired by it. The thing was, it was a removal of all senses. It was just aura. It was magical. So think about the all-seeing eye and the star. And if we look at the mountain, or in my case now, I'm encouraging looking at the triangle. You got the eye above the triangle. It's above. So it always starts from 1D. 2D is duality. So for God to know itself, God needs to create the opposite to him, what he is not. Ego, edging God out, darkness, evil, whatever label you can give it, is as creative as God can get, to the most disgusting that it could go. If you even can give it a cool discussion, he has to create the opposite for him to be able to know thyself. So duality, again, in the words and the way that we use in the creation to tell us, is 2 dimensions. And this is, I'm going to call the collective consciousness. But this is when the birth, so look, Israel. Who was born in Israel? In Jerusalem? Christ Jesus. Bethlehem was the Star of David is on the flag. On the land, you're going to find out that that's the highest point. On the Christ Mass tree, you've got a star on the top of the tree. So even on a tree, we can use that as a great example, the Christmas tree. So God has a sun. There you go. There's the sun and there's the moon. Yin and yang. If we look at a cycle for the month, the sun shows up every day and goes around the earth. And then just following behind is the moon chasing the sun. There's a number of flags that you see where it's a half moon chasing the star. So the moon's chasing God. So the mind is chasing God. And normally the mind tries to run away. The mind's chasing so much that God's now behind him that he thinks that now he's in control. Never in control. God's always in control. The moon's a great example because throughout the month it has different phases. So the mind, the moon, ego characters. You play so many roles in your life. As a kid, how many different phases did you go through? You're a grunger, you're a sports person, you're a boffin. Remember that word? You're a geek. You're a nerd. You go through these different phases, and each time you're trying to find yourself. What tends to happen on this human experience? We try everything, and it ultimately comes back to the truth again, that you are all everything. So the sun is wholeness all the way through. The moon is the mask of the sun, gets in the way all the time, tries to take control, and by the end of the month, it's a full moon again, reset. And that's the constant duality of life. When we then bring it into the human experience, so you got sun or soul, mind, and then in 3D, body, mind, soul. So this is where the human experience comes in. I love the gap in the meditations. I know you do. It's magic. It's like and the more you get in there, again, it's hard for me to just say it like this. I feel that my energy does sell it a bit more. But once you're there, it's not even difficult. Once you're there and you realize, oh, that's it. And then you capture and you remember all the moments you've had in your life. And there'll be times where you're staring at your kid. They don't know you're looking at them. You're just catching them. You're like, that's my kid. Or you're staring at a loved one. You're like, I love that person. Or you're staring at someone else like, wow, you're inspirational. They don't even know you're looking at them. Like you just see the magic in them. That's magic. So for the soul's journey, the soul's come down as wholeness. Soul, we're going to come on to that in a minute where the wholeness part comes in. Then you've got mind and soul and ego, duality, simplify life down to a choice. Then you've got the human experience, body, mind, soul. So we're a three-part being, body, mind, and soul. Your soul is the spirit, a spiritual being having a human experience. Your body, mind comes as a package. So the human experience is the mind and body. And the soul is I'm going to call it the sun, it's the spirit. It always works within your soul, chose this human experience and chose your body. Your body then is the vessel for your soul. You're the captain of the body, your ship. You're the owner, that's your ship, ownership. Your mind and body is a partnership. It partners with the ship. Again, all words in plain sight. We're going on a journey. We're flowing through the ocean of consciousness, all in plain sight. This is where we start. And I'm going to show you where this is the wrong place to start. This is why life's been so complicated for us, is we've skipped 2 steps. We have to go back. First of all, we simplify our life and then we go to the truth and then come back down. So when we start seeing the pyramid, the mountain, it's going to make more sense. If you start at the top of the mountain, you got a full perspective on everywhere. You can look at what best route to take. You can see where there's more debris and mountain and animals, and you can see maybe a clearer space. You get to pick. What's easier, going up or coming down? Simple, right? However, we start at the bottom. We start at the foundation. We start on our 2 feet, the human experience, and we try climbing straight away, but we've got so much to climb, we don't know where to start. If you start from the top, you just come straight down, like a bungee, just drop. And again, when we go into the human body, you're going to see when we start from head down, it makes so much more sense to understand the body. All making sense so far. I want to keep these a lot shorter. And again, use these images or find your own, take a meditation. I'll explain 4D and 5D because it is a package. When you understand it all, you're going to realize the importance of coming back to 3D after. So 3D to 5D, already we're skipping one out. It's 4D. 4D is the mind now aware of the feelings. 4D is your heart space, is creation. 4D is with God. I'm going to say it's with God unconsciously. You're in flow. You lost track of time. You had a snapshot moment. You were just in euphoria. And when you come out of it, it's like, whoa, that's 4 dimensions. 4 dimensions is doing things that you love doing. You go out with your friends and you're dancing all night on the dance floor. I know some women that love that, all night on the dance floor. And that's them. That's God. Every sports player that plays at any level, if you haven't got all your little luggage that you're bringing around with you, when you're in that moment, when you're in flow, when you're on a roll, that's God. When you go for a walk with your dog is the reflection of God. It's showing you what God is. God's working through your dog, a mirror, dog, God. But you play with your dog. So play is 4D. Passion, enthusiasm, expression, creation, all God. And this is the space that many people cannot get into. No matter how much they know and how much they try, they can't get into it. They talk a good game, mind, but they can't get into the 4D. To get into the 4D space, there cannot be mind. So it makes more sense when we go back down the pyramid. And then 5D is the ascension, it's the illumination, it's the enlightened mind. It's done the journey, the human experience. It's come down, it's gone back up, full awareness. And now you're sitting at the top of your kingdom with the duality, truth or no truth, with the feelings, with your own creation, your own interpretation, your own description, your own experience, which only can come from you, then you're in 5D. So I call that illumination. I call that Christ consciousness. I call that God experiencing thyself as a human being. It's simple. However, these are just words. We've seen this. It doesn't resonate still for people. It still doesn't kick in unless you've had the experience. The soul can only be experienced without the mind. When people explain this and they say the most advanced words and they try to get overcomplicated, or when they're speaking, they're stuttering all the time and they're not attaching it to themselves, that you can see that it's remembered. You can see that there's a script to it. You can see that there's an uncomfort the way it's been delivered, or it doesn't feel right. There's something that's a bit, it's not a truth. And we've overcomplicated this journey because God is too hard to put into words. So we've tried to find the right word and be even more descriptive and more expressive with our words to describe God, but that makes it even more taking us away from God. So I appreciate I'm saying God so much at the moment. I just like using the word God, changing it to dog. Dog for me is the description of God. It's just love. It's just play. It's just loyal. It's just magic. It's your soul friend. It's your soul mate. So let's go next one. So we're using even scriptures as well, because the spiritual journey really challenges a lot of people that have been on a, let's call it a biblical journey. Why is my thing not coming up? There you go. Okay, it doesn't seem to want that image. That's fine. But a lot of people struggle to accept that this is spirituality, is described to us in the biblical text. The biblical text, the Bible, is the most read book in the whole world, the most studied book in the whole world, and the most defended book in the whole world. It's a book full of truth. It's a book written through creation, God. It's a book being described by scribes that taught the story of Jesus. Jesus is a character in these books, which we have been told is the only way that you can have God in your life is when you have to wait for the Son. Because in the Bible, there's a bit that says, to reach the Father, you have to go through the Son. That's the only way you can do it. He's only one true Son. But if you turn it around, that you are God, and that's your Son, and I'm going to show you how the word, the Son of God, Son, in Spanish is soul, my son, S-O-N, the Son of God, S-U-N, the Son from God. I lay it into my life. If you change it round, no, I'm not God. Without you in here, this experience now, if you're not there, there is no God anyway. If you're not living, there's no God. How would you be able to know there's God if you're not here? It's your awareness. So you are God. Because it's 3-letter words, you are the experience, and the experience is taking place to you. So when you start reading a lot of the scriptures, and I stayed away from this for a long time. Only last year I went to church for the first time. And I started listening to the messengers, which I wasn't resonating with. Some of them overweight, unhealthy, talking about health. Some of them spoke a good game and talks to you and say, you're a sinner. Someone has done the hard work to take your sins away, but you're a failure in life and you have to wait for it. These are the messages that we've been told. So let me just show you again, all the words are in plain sight. A lot of the English-speaking countries use this Bible, but think about it. It wasn't written in English. It's been translated from 2,000 years ago, we're told. Translated from another country. The guy's name wasn't even called Jesus. So imagine we go through history and then I make it in the Guinness Book of Record books for climbing a mountain. I go hiking and I'm in the Guinness Book of Record books. Harry Thomas has got the Guinness Book of Records for climbing a mountain in England. And then 2,000 years later, they say my name's Andy. Andy Thomas, that's not my name. So Jesus, his name wasn't Jesus in the other books. We're told it was Yeshua, Yahweh, and all these other words. So even that. So think about it. They've used these words. English, like I said, is the last language, using all the descriptions, using a number of words to tell us. And again, look at here at the bottom. Jesus, yes, us. Yes, us, all of us. We're all Christ. So I've used the different things to explain the teachings, and it's all here. You can't argue with any of this. So the Son of God. We're told Jesus is the Son of God. So yes, us. And then that's my son. My son. So the Son of God is the Son of God. Makes sense? Son, son. Son in Spanish is soul. So God, and then God's Son is the soul. Go back to this one. God had a son. But also God created the opposite. And they dance around each other. That's creation. So Jesus showed us the way. We always told that. Jesus showed us the way. And everyone that tells us this says Jesus had all these powers. Jesus was the most powerful man. So Jesus was the real deal. I'm still going with that too. I'm not saying that that's not the case. Jesus showed us the way though. So if Jesus was the man, like all these people will tell you, he showed us the way for a reason. He showed us the way to show that we can do this too. That's why he showed the way. He can't be that good if he showed us a way, but none of us can get there. Let me show you guys what I can do. I'm going to tease you with everything, but you can't get there. Only when I come back. But I'm going to come back whenever I want. You've just got to wait for me. But that's not a good Jesus at all. So yes, us. Jesus showed us a way because us. And I'm going to give you something that I feel is a really powerful truth. One that people that will get challenged and triggered by this, we have more experience in life than Jesus. Because 2,000 years ago, Jesus didn't have the knowledge of the world that we do. Jesus didn't have technology to help connect us to God's creation like we do. Jesus couldn't get about and experience different places around the creation like we do. So we are more advanced than Jesus. But if we come back then to this, if we simplify our life, Jesus got mastered this and he mastered this. And in the 3D experience, he mastered that. So he was enlightened in his time. But since then, this story of Christ consciousness has been shared around the world. And we have the Buddha. We have Hare Krishna. We have all these other teachers and masters that have been showing us the way too. They're all enlightened masters as well. It's pure love. It's pure mastery in the human experience. So we come back onto here. I like using images to also explain our experience. So when I'm in my meditations, when I say body, I always look at mind, body, soul. But when I feel body, I always use a number 8. The mind is the 8 and the body is the bottom part of the 8. Mind sets the body, body stimulates the mind. Infinity, your heart centers in the middle, that's your soul, your truth. Jesus died on the cross at 33. That's the story we're told. In French, if you add the I to Jesus, Jésus, I am. So in French, it even tells you, add I, start with you, I, put in Jesus, I am. If you just put Jésus in French without the I, it says I know. So I know I am. Again, all in plain sight. So he died on the cross at 33. When we go through the Christ path, the Christed path, there's 33 vertebrae. And we start at the very root of our spine and we go up the straight and narrow path. And you go from hell, which is down into the body. You add the soul in, you add the sun on hell. Hello. So you go from hello to halo. So that's a great way to start your day now. Halo, halo. And a big part of my journey on the English language over the last few years, especially teaching common law, was the deception in the English language. And when I first come into it, it was my saying was the English language is the most deceptive. When people find out how deceiving it is, we're not going to speak it again. I went around saying that for a while, and I thought that's so true. However, the duality for every word for deception, and there's over 100 of them, by the way, it's the English language. Type it in. Over 100 words for deception. It means there's over 100 words for truth too. It's so simple. So every negative word, there's a positive word. Every positive word is a truth. So good morning. I'm like, oh, it's even telling us on those words. Good morning. Days in a week. Week, your week. At the end of the week, your weekend. Weekend. At the end of 10 years, it's a decade. You've decayed. When you go to work at your job in Hebrew means persecuted. When you go to earn a living, an urn is where you keep the ashes from someone that's deceased. So I'm like, oh my God, they're all deceptive words. You can't say good morning anymore. However, every day, this is what it is. A simple way of finding Christ every day. So every day, Christ dies on the cross because it crosses over from the human experience up to the soul. So good morning, because every day is a new day. You are going to be morning in the morning. Because when the sun reaches its highest point in the day at 12, at noon, you cross over. If you do the same things, you start with you in the day. So you get up, you do the things that serve you. Meditation, exercise, creation, flow. It's for you first. You recharge yourself, your soul, and then you cross over. So even good morning, it's telling you. Good morning, and then you cross over. So on the cross that we're told he died on, this gory picture of Jesus, that just, every time you think of him, if you've got that image, that's horrible, that's fearful, it's gory. That story is not the way it's meant to be explained. They're allegories. And if you look at all these words, you can't argue with it. No, it can't. It's in the words literally. These words are in the Bible. I actually have, I've got to share it after. I even show you some scripture where it actually shows you. So let's then go on to this. So the way that the course was delivered is to every experience we have, we would use a different way of imagining it in our head. And what you'll start realizing is when you can start taking images, and all images are few to take inwards, then every experience changes completely. And when we start looking at the root of the soul and what enlightenment means, and the chakras, and the words for the chakras, and the soul, the Son of God, and everything is all there for you. It changes everything. So I've now started playing around with when my eyes are closed, because to be the spirit, you have no body, no mind. So the eyes are closed is a great way to leave the body, leave the mind. So when I go on the lift now, every time I go on the lift, before I choose not to go on the lift, because I like walking, I close my eyes and my soul is levitating. When I now go into a meditation, when I'm using my chakras, at the bottom of my spine, I now imagine that I'm in a lift going up, and then I'm in a lift going down. And there's certain music that I now play and listen to, which is a bit fast tempo. I'm on the ride at Fort Park where it just drops you and shoots you back up again. I'm going on a solar coaster in my body. So I use the inspiration that's been created through man by God to take inwards in my kingdom to have an experience going. And then all my ideas, when I'm explaining it to people, I can use that reference point. Everyone's gone hiking. Oh, that makes sense now. Yeah, up top of the mountain, there's a lot fresher up there. When I go up with some of the highest beasts of a mountain, some people die, because the only way that you do survive in places like that, which is just pure God energy, because there's hardly any other energy around from humankind up there, it is God. You have to trust in yourself. You have to be present. You have to be cautious and conscious. You have to make the right choices because you're going closer to God. The more you've done that, then, oh, I've been in that God space. Let's take it to a higher level. Let's take it to a new dimension. Let's do the mountain climbing without any equipment this time. Let's do it free solo. Again, it's an involvement of God's creation. So this is the root of the soul. So the words I, O, and you. So let's start with soul. S-O-L is how it's spelled in Latin. Soul is the sun. So we start with soul. That's how it's spelled, S-O-L. We spell it in English, soul, S-O-U-L. So soul is sun, and then the flip side of it, S-O-U-L, and then the Son of God. So again, makes sense, right? So if you use letters, they're all descriptions of what takes place in the human experience. Every letter you can give a description, a description to. So the I, if you look at it, the only letter in the whole alphabet that has a break and a dot at the top. If you look at this, let me just show you. Look, body is the bottom of the eye. The mind, keep the mind out the way, then there's the soul. Human experience, and there's the spirit. If we go to this photo on the right here, look, human experience, there's a gap there. I, the pyramid. All seeing I, it's called the same. So I-O-U, the body is the I. If you look at the word soul, in the middle of the soul is the O. S-O, and the sun. If you look at this, look, what is it? It's a whole. Wholeness. What is it? Emptiness. Oneness. It's all in plain sight. So anytime you see an O, which is a complete, you can do it in any direction, that's the soul. So I is the body, soul is the sun, or the O, and then you. To be at Christ consciousness, it's not just about the I, the individual, it's about us. You is also then you, God, bring in God, bring in Christ. And then if you look at what I put out comes back, I throw a you around someone, I put a you around you, it's going to come back to me. Again, these are images that we've then turned into a word, we've given it meaning as alphabet, we put it in words. But from a simple form, that's a great way of explaining imageries, all God's creation. Here's one for you to start working on your body. The alphabet, do those letters in your bed, stretch in the morning, and just recreate each one of those letters in the morning. You'll get your body into all sorts of positions. You can have a bit of fun with it, but that's a great way to stimulate your body. So, as we know, we start from I. You always first. Always put yourself first. Without you there isn't anything else. Without you at your best, how can you serve anyone else? Yet we always put everyone else first. So important, put yourself first. Your soul is the truth. Meditation. 10 minutes, you've already put yourself first. In that 10 minutes, it'll add more time into life. It'll bring more calmness. It'll bring more clarity. Meditation. So we start with I first. That's why it's the best time to start the day with you. So if you just look at the words, yeah, I'll do this page still. So soul, you start with the I first. Soil, you start from the soil, your seed. I'm going to come on to this in a minute. I haven't missed it. Just see, I've got. Yeah, okay, makes sense. So you got your seed, your soil. You start your foundation. You start your roots. So if we go to, I'll come on. I'll explain this bit in a bit more. Then what do we have at the bottom of our feet? Our soul. There's a reason why it's called soul, spelled differently. Look at the word. So if we got our shoes on and we know that rubber soles are not a great thing, take them off, go grounding. Feet in the soil. So if you let the ego, and bring in the you go from soul to soul. Bring in the you. When you're on the soul, which is you, uniqueness, there's only one of you. This is your human experience. You go solo, the individual journey. And look, you bring another O in. Soul plus God, solo. And then you can bring us, US, bring the US into the souls. Then it's souls. We are all one. So again, different ways that I like to break down the word soul when I'm doing my meditation, but I'm thinking about it. I start my roots, got the soul on my feet, take them off, let the ego, bring in the you, S-O-U-L. I, soil, O, truth, you, us. Okay. Next part as well, the spiritual journey, chakras. Oh no, stay away from that. That's this. You can't let spirits enter your system. It's dangerous. It's voodoo. All these scare tactics. Yeah, this is our system. When people start connecting with their chakras, let's call them energy centers today, your energy spaces, you start feeling what takes place in your body, and there's a pulse to every single one of them. So we're going to come on to this too, because this is a spiritual and biblical times. It has to come together. But our spirit, what is your spirit? It's energy. It's in spirit. It's in you. And it's inspirational, which is your experience. All the words, but no, you're not spiritual. How does that make sense? God's not spiritual. Of course he is, the Holy Spirit. Mind, body, spirit. So it's still there. So people get scared of this. Now, I shouldn't let meditation. I'm scared of it. Why? You're scared of someone else's words and someone else's story. They don't want you going into these spaces. And the corporate world do not want you doing meditation. I realized why I struggled getting corporate work towards the end of my transition before I moved to Brazil was I was having these big law firms, and I had clients that were in, they call it I think it was the Club of Five. And I had 4 directors or CEOs from Deloitte's big one. And about 3 of them were left in silence after the meditation. They didn't call me back. They didn't call me back after. For me, that was like a guarantee. I'm like, look at their reaction. It was like tears and everything. If they took that on, everyone would leave work. Everyone would realize this does not serve me. This does not make me feel right. This person's talking to me and I'm allowing it and I'm not saying anything. You'd get all your answers. The reason why they don't want you meditating, people, and they don't want you finding this out, because you realize that you are God. You realize that life is based on your feelings. You'll realize that feelings are inside your body, which means you're in control of your feelings and your creation. And when you have that knowing and it doesn't feel like that anymore outside, you say no. And you get better and better at it. So they don't want you doing meditation. The Bible, I'm calling the Bible bashers because they bash my ego. The preachers, they won't tell you about meditation. They tell you to pray. But meditation is prayer. But within it, within your kingdom first, you ask and you shall receive. You ask God and you get your answers from God in those meditations every day. So let's look at the chakras again, all in plain sight. So we come back to the soil. So every day, the sun sets. Ready? Watch this. So we start here. The sun sets. It always starts from here. So the sun's up in the sky. The sun sets. So the sun comes through the mind first. So soul, mind, body. The sun sets through the mind. So soul sets the mind. The mind then sets in the body. So before you've even woken up, before you've entered this experience, before the new day has risen, your soul set. So now you're aware of that. You set intentions the night before. So your sun goes into your mind and it sets in the body. Your sun starts below ground, in the soil, in the roots. You've set your seeds. Your seed, a star seed. We come back to here. Star. You're a star seed. In I said that last time. In the Vedic tradition, the seed is the bija. When you do mantras, I taught primordial sound meditation. the middle part of the mantra was always bija. It's the unique expression. It's your soul, your seed. So you start in the seed. So the root chakra, look, it's called your root chakra. It's the bottom one. It's red, which we call hell, and represents hell. It's below ground. So if you then set the intentions, every day is a new day. Now you're aware, you let your sun rise above the ground. And the second one is your sacral chakra. So as you rise against the ground, and you have to get your head out the ground, so let the ego get out the mind. Now you're in your sacred space. This is God's space. Look at it. It's the inner temple. So we have to get our head above the ground every day. That's the first part. To get our head back in the ground, we out the ground, we connect with God, meditation. So then you come to sacred space. So we can go up. If you look at it, it's our chakras. There's 7 energy centers, starting from the base of your spine, the spinal column, the straight and narrow path. Set, and then your soul rise all the way up. So again, Jesus Christ comes down to save you. Ready? Look, it's come down. Christ. Now you're conscious. You're now in your sacred space. You're like, whoa, this is my kingdom. This is my inner body. I'm aware now. Let's speak to my body. Right. I raise up. My solar plexus is your solar system. Space is a deep space inside your body. There's lights that flash inside your body. There's a solar system inside your body. It's magic. So when we go into the meditation, that is space. All the space programs and all the conditioning, and they're brainwashing our kids, which I used to get frustrated with. No, it's inspiring our kids. Like, yeah, in the physical, they can't do that. There's no such thing. But they're using that to really stretch our imagination, to bend space and time. You get rid of them. It's all in there. The heart center, look. The heart center at the heart of the universe. Universe. And it's your verse, my verse. So, at the heart, 3 below, 3 above. At the center. In the way that we're described, the universe, the sun's at the center, right? And all the planets go around the sun. Your heart is in the center. If you go to the number 8, your heart is in the center. Oh, in the center. It's there. So at the heart, that beat to your life, the big bang. If you go to every beat, what is it? A bang. And then there was life. Every second the beat goes in your body is your life. Magic. So we're going to come on to this journey because, again, we're going up now. But we have to get above, out the roots. We have to get out the ground. We have to put our feet on and go up. So you come from the heart. Now you're in that heart space. Remember, the heart space is creation. It takes to get up to this place when you get into love. So you have to go through your own kingdom first to get up there. And then what happens next? A lot of time we speak from our mind without awareness. But now we're up here. You have to be in awareness because you paid attention to get up there. So now I speak from my heart. I feel it in my body, and those feelings I would like to now express into words. I'd like to express into a dance. I'd like to express through singing. Speak from the heart. Then you get up to the third eye, the all-seeing eye. On the pyramid, it's going to make more sense. But it's your sixth sense. You call it your sixth sense, you call it your intuition. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. 6 chakras. Sixth sense didn't come from that. Anywhere else is 6 chakras up. So you can argue that there's no such thing as chakras and that, but yet they're in the words. The all-seeing eye, intuition, the tutor within you. The all-seeing eye is in between your temples. Third eye. And then you've got your crown chakra, become king. So what is Jesus Christ? He's king. So you do the journey and you become king. You become the royalty. At night time, your night comes down. protects you. And then your soul rises, all in plain sight. The 12, 15 chakra theory and all that, a distraction from mastering these 7. So, yeah, I would agree with that. The 12, which we're told about, I feel like it's called the macabre or something like that. I'm going to show you the spine again quickly. So on the spine, you have 5 segments of the spine, and there's a number of vertebrae. The first one is the cervical. So you come down, there's 7 bones at the top of the spine. Then you've got the big curve at the back. It's called your thoracic, which is 12 bones. So 7, 12. God's creation recreating itself, energy first. So we're finding out about that. Then the physical, we're learning from the structure, which is consistent. So when they say 15, it'd be 7, 12, 5, 5, 4. So if there's after 12, then maybe there's, again, I haven't looked into it. And like you said, it's a distraction from mastering these. And so many people want the knowledge. They want to talk all this game. And now you'll see the further away it goes from the simplicity, the more complicated they're making it, the more it doesn't resonate. And you can see they're repeating. I'm going to give you some advice as well. When you're watching these spiritual teachers, you can tell. And again, the concept of this, the knowledge of this is all there. The meaning of it does make sense when people explain it. However, when certain people deliver it, it's like, oh, it makes real sense. It's the person delivering it. Like I said, it's the messenger. When people use the words right, isn't it? Yeah. They're trying to get a confirmation from the person they're speaking about. Or they'll say words like, I believe this, I think this. There's no think or believe when it's your truth. It's a knowing or it's a feeling. So listen to the words, because the soul doesn't lie. You would never say, I know, unless I know. And I really encourage people, the word I think, when you're explaining the truth, means they think it is right because it's been explained to them by someone else, which these are all meaning. So like I'm trying to do, I'm trying to explain and deliver this in a way where you can grasp it quite easily with loads of different examples of it. You take it inwards. And then what would start taking place, you'll be able to give your own explanation of it. You'll be able to recreate something else that really works for you. Mums and dads out here, if you're watching this sort of stuff for your kids, and then take it into an imagination session. Close your eyes. I like using the balloons when you get them to breathe. And they're imagining their lungs expanding. It's showing us again, but you'll see that they're tuning in through imagination. Doesn't need the explanations. They've given it their own feeling. It sticks. They'll remember, Mum used to do this with me. And then they'll find even better ways of explaining it. And again, that's how we evolve. So the root chakra, the sacral space, the solar system, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown chakra. So it's the root of the sun coming down and the sun rising. This is the route to enlightenment. This is the route to illumination. This is a straight and narrow path, which is explained many times in the Bible too. That is as simple as it can. And people, all these different words that I've used, when you take your mind and your body out of it, and you close your eyes, and I ask you, bring your attention to the base of your spine. And I ask you, focus on the base of your spine. You'll feel it, and it will pulse. The best place to start is the heart, because we can really feel that heartbeat. And then you go just below the heart and the top of the stomach, you'll feel a little pulse, and you'll get used to it. And in the end, you ignite them all. Cannabis and cannabis oil, I encourage people, if you want to get these experiences where you feel it straight away, you've then had the experience. As soon as you've done that, then you can go back to it, and you'll be able to switch it on. Sometimes we need a stimulation to be able to show us, oh, there it is. Now I've got it. What happens when you have cannabis? You get high. And when you get above the high, you're king still. So that's going to be a plant medicine that will be everywhere. Hemp and all the qualities that will come back into it. At the moment, it's illegal in the UK. It's now legal in certain states in America. When we go back through history, you're going to see that they've been using God's plant. That's all it is. It is a plant, nothing else. And the legal system as the thing that's made it illegal. It's just the same as a tomato. It's just the same as any other food that you eat from God's creation. It's the same thing. So I will be encouraging that a lot more. And for these sort of experiences, once you start getting into the meditations to enhance it, I really encourage it. And it will get you closer to God. So they even show us in plain sights in terms of baseball and things like that. To make it home, you have to go complete the journey. Maybe I'll rephrase that one. You have to go through every base to complete the journey. When we start here, we always start from the 3D experience. We're trying to get to 5D. No, we need to start back at our truth first, do the whole journey. That's how you get the home run. That's how you make it home. So we look at 2D, 3D, 4D, and the way that we learn. We're three-dimensional beings, but when we've been learning, we learn in 2 dimensions. And this is another thing why I really encourage people to start going inside your body with the awareness of what the 4D and around the corner and what you can see when you go hiking and when you're out in nature. Then you realize that your whole body is in 4D. And you'll start seeing that things do wrap around in your body and things are moving. When you start getting that, then you'll start seeing the way that we've limited ourselves. And everything that we got taught 2D, you're now looking at me in the screen. I remember at school in maths when we were doing shapes and stuff, I struggled always on the 3D shapes. And when you had to do the mirror work, I used to struggle with that as a kid. Very good at maths, very good at spellings. I used to remember my spellings, and I was always top in the class as well. I remember actually, I practiced a lot. But this is how we would learn. So look, always in the 3, knowledge. A lot of us know a good game. So if we look at it in 2D, just from the pyramid now, the all-seeing eye, you got all your levels. So if we use every level down the pyramid, it's your different dimensions. So this is just the easy way to explain it. You work your way down to the bottom of the pyramid. But if you start in down on 5D, look how much space you've got on that level that you would have to complete first of all to go up. However, when we come down from the spine, look, from the all-seeing eye, soul sets in the mind. Look, the mind's eye, the illuminated eye, when we come back up again. But soul sets in the mind sets in the body. At the soul, at the base, at the foundation, in the day now, it rises back up. But when we start from the top with this meditation coming down, you'll see that I've got one thing to focus on at this level. That's my mind. Yes or no, duality, easy. Right, 3-part being, mind, body, soul. Less things to worry about. More chance to get full knowledge. Now we're getting the experience. We're not going, right, there's 16D, and that's when you're in the galactics, and that's when you're shooting through wormholes, and you're having astral projections, and then you're getting taken up in a, like, again, all these things that people talk about, and there's the angels, and there's the orbs, and there's all these things. They might see all that, and it's overwhelming. It's so overwhelming, and most people are searching for all these things because they're the expert and they're telling you, and they've been doing it for ages. And then there's more people talking about Gabrielle and Archangel Michael and all these words. Simplify it. Once you get illumination, then all these things will be created anyway. Your imagination kicks in. So let's turn it then into 3D. So this is now a 4D shape. We've got edges, we've got a side. If you look at anything in life, first of all, you just got flat screen. These are the dimensions, height and width, 2D. But then all of a sudden you get a box that comes from Amazon, and now it's got a width to it as well. So we've then shortened the pyramid, and I think this is a great one. So let's call this 3 levels. First level, soul comes down into the body. Duality. Then you got the base of the spine, mind, body, soul. That's it. I don't worry about 5D, 4D. That's where we're going to work. We're going to work in the 3D experience because we are a human being having a physical experience. So we're going to start on that basis. And you're going to see how easy it is. If I only have to go down a few, You're going to see what it then means. And then you've got mastery. So we then turn it in from, we're 5D, but to learn our 5D, we take it into 4D. So if you look at this triangle, the way it's been created, this one's got 3 sides. This one's now got 4 sides. So I look at this as the 3D experience, 4D experience, 5D experience. Does that make sense? So just to give you examples, we're using the pyramid, we're coming down. I've got the knowledge, I've got all the levels, but I need the experience now, right? So come down, and I've got to learn this, but I've also got another side. So it's not as just straightforward. I've got to learn all the different things just to understand my temple. Like every room, every chamber, every level, I want to know about it. I don't have to go all the way down, and now I've got to climb all the way up. And we're going to use the mountain as an example. So if you look at the mountain, think about the olden days. Before they even had technology, you get these explorers and go, look at that beast. Like, what's that? Oh, snow up there. Whoa. Like from the ground, the physical experience, that's some effort getting up there, right? You don't know what you're going to get, anticipation. And there's a documentary which I really encourage on rock climbing at Yosemite, and it goes through the different phases of how they evolved rock climbing. So imagine you climb up the mountain first of all. That is hard work. That is an effort. Right, you've got the knowledge of climbing up there now, but now you're at the top. You've completed it. You've got the experience, but now you're looking down. Right, so I'm gonna make my way down. The more you do that journey, you go down and you come back up again. You got to go around the side. So you got back here. They come down and they go back up. Well, there's another way to go back up. It's not just like that. Now I've got another way. Now I've got another way. In the end, the mountain, it comes down. It gets clever. Well, I've done this journey a few times. How can I make it easy for myself? I know. I'll create these skis. I'll create a lift to get myself back up again. Like, I've had the experience, and the problem is it takes a lot of time. The problem is I'm absolutely knackered. The problem is my mate got frozen and my dog's still in an ice cube at the moment. Like it's not working out perfectly for me. I need to make it a bit easy. Solution. Come up with skis. So you've got God's creation experience, but you couldn't come up with skis first of all if you've never even climbed up there. How would you know you even need skis to come down? Does that make sense? So all of a sudden they've gone up, but think about it, before they even had ski slopes and paths created and stuff. They just found the best way, and they had to try it a few times. And over the years, it's evolved that now they've got full-on ski slopes that are there every year. They got their shops and they got their hotels, and then they got these different routes. Same with that rock climbing video. What used to happen was the first thing, this monster of wall. It was whoever could get up there, and they were spending days getting up there, and then eventually someone climbed up. Then it was like, right, let's do this route. And it was starting to get up. Then they realized there's so many other routes we can go. And it was become a thing where everyone's set off to find their own route and then knocking all their nails in. And the routes would get named after the people. And it was like a thing then. Then it started evolving in, right, who can get up there? Or first of all, people were getting up and they were sleeping up there. And they'd come down to get food and then go back up again. Then they would say, right, let's try get up there like in one day, or the quickest to get up there. Then it went from one day to getting up there as quick as they can. And then it went up there from taking off. No, you're not allowed to come back down again. It's got to be in one go. Then it was to the point where it's now free solo, where they're going up without any equipment in 4 hours, from something that took them a lifetime to even achieve before. Again, evolution. I just think it's a great way, but use this mountain as an example for your body. Use this example of your route of the soul. As there's loads of journeys to come back in and learn about yourself. Don't rush and skip, because to go into these experiences, 5D, you need the knowledge of your body. We're just skipping straight away, but there's so much our body can do that we're not even close. Like I'm telling you, if we looked at the capabilities of our body and what we're experiencing now, is let's say 3%. Throw that number in. I'm telling you, we can do things that wouldn't be possible right now when we start unlocking our body. It's God's kingdom. And if it's God's kingdom, there's magic waiting for us. So the root of it, that's where I like. So The best way to explain it now, look, soul set, come down into the kingdom. It sets for the night. Starts at the top, makes its way down. We'll rest when we get to the bottom. It's done an easy one, and then we'll work our way up. So soul sets in the mind sets in the body. The 3D human starts here. Sunrise, body, seed. So rather than going all the way down and coming up, go down 3. And then you come back up. We come out of the ground and we're in the sacred space. We're already in the heart space. We've consciously made an effort and we start then in our heart space. We're already in creation. Can you see, like, straight away, love or fear? That's that duality part. As soon as you're in love, you're there. It's like a skip now because I've learned all this. This is just normal because we're just born here, we chose here. That's a choice. Love is creation. Creation is flow. Flow is healing. Healing is your feelings. Your feelings are your truth. Your truth is your soul. And then when you've done the heart space consciously, you then sit at the top of your kingdom, having the human experience at the fullest potential, creating with God, with the Father. Simple journey. What do you say? 2 steps back, 1 step forward. You go up first rather than start here. So now we're in 5D. Rather than going 6D, 7D, look, we come back down again. Right, now I'm aware that I am God. Now I'm aware that my words are powerful. Now I'm aware that my body can do a lot more things. Let me find more answers. Let me seek out more clues. Let me tap into my senses of the body and start experiencing other things that I didn't actually think was possible before. So on the meditations, we will be taking you through just a little pyramid. And I'll show you where it kind of leads into today, but just to start thinking about our 3D experience and still simplifying it for us all. So just a bit more. Again, just to show you, like with the words, the journey of the soul. Soul sets in the mind sets the body. Set intention, in tension. The tension's in the energy in the body. 3D. Soul rise, sun rises, soil. Heart space, 4D. Straight and narrow path up. Freedom when you get out of your head, out of the dirt. Sunrise, illumination. Perfect. And then it just leaves us then into the next part. So the distraction, like Nikki said, moving away from the 12 and 15. And if anyone's talking to you about 8D or 16D, they don't know what they're on about in terms of the experience. You cannot put 16D into words at all. It's like going into that God space. You'd have all these things that you wouldn't know what they are. It wouldn't occur to you. So it's like the human experience. And I like this one as well. Imagine if you found that you've just turned up, you've had your memory wiped, and you just found a tail. You've never seen it was a fox tail. You don't know what a fox is. You've never seen any animals before. You just found this tail. How would you know what it is? You've just found this furry thing. Look, oh, it looks like a plant or something. You wouldn't know what if you've never seen an animal before. Oh, now you see the animal. Oh, that's the tail. Oh, you learned something. That's this. So, going back to this shape here. So, 5D we learn in 4D. 4D is from the heart space. 4D is creation. So we can look at 4 parts. Sorry, I've done this. I've skipped a bit. Look at 3 parts. So this is why I've done this one. So let's get the experience of the body and the mind, the human experience. So I've got 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides, but I've got the base. So this is where we'll take it into the next experience, which I've got some really cool stuff in this, by the way. When you don't need to think, music, it is really cool. So, simple way of looking at the human experience. How can we bring awareness to your life now? Simplify your life to this. So let's look at the base first. Your health. Body health, mind health, spiritual health. I'm not even going to tell you what that is to you. Like, what's a healthy body? What's a healthy mind? It's not mental health. Mental, if you look at the definition, It's like a craziness. Ment is the mind, remember? So it's all mind. It's not mental, it's just all mind. Get out your mind. So we call it mind health instead of mental. And then soul or spiritual health. So, health. Your soul's the truth and it covers all them anyway. When you're at the soul, your body and mind are in harmony, your body and mind are in balance, they're the partnership. So if I look at my health, how do I get my soul health every day? Meditation. And I know that meditation ticks those 3 boxes. If I looked at it from my body health, yoga, I like using a good example, but yoga is union. When I do yoga, I'm getting a physical experience. I'm stretching all my tissues. I'm moving in 3 dimensions. But at the same time, my mind's focused. It's staring at the mat. It's listening to instructor. I can't even look at left or right because I fall over. I can't think about anything that has been on my mind or stressing anything because I'm focusing on here. So I'm centered. And then my spiritual experience is because I am present in it. My mind, I'm learning, I'm growing. And then I know when I'm learning, I'm in flow. I know when I'm learning, when I'm in flow, my body's healthy. So they're kind of concepts of how I just look at. So I look at my day. Am I ticking the boxes just for health? We give our own definition to health, and we usually use what we used to think as health or our best, healthiest self. And oh no, we can't do that. I'm nowhere near that now. And then we avoid the simple things. Meditation ticks all the boxes for every single one of them. Meditation is 5D instantly. Meditation is this. You're there instantly. And when you're there, I'm going to say, notice the feelings inside your body. Notice the quietness of your mind. You're already there. You've had the whole experience. And when you're there, you realize, whoa, that's my truth. So, health foundation. Be honest with yourself. And you've got 3 things to compare it to now. So okay, this is a great way of doing it. This is a great way to give people a soul slap as well. Normally, I'd say to mums and dads, ask your kids, how would they answer for you? If you used to say, my health out of 10, let's give it numbers. And you say, what's your health out of 10? And then we flip it and say, okay, ask your kid, what's your health out of 10? How would they describe you? You'll see if you're being too hard on yourself. You'll see if you're lying. Kids tell the truth. But you'd ask your body instead. If your body was to say, am I focusing on health for my body? What would the answer be? If my body was to say, just health, I'd be happy with this, or just attention, like, what do I need? Again, you'll find your answers. So I encourage people now with this, because the whole point of this one today was just to kind of show you simple ways of looking at this. Again, the spiritual journey is all about the experience. I can talk all this all the time and it will resonate. It may click, it may remind you and ignite certain things in you. However, it's the experience first. If I can keep simplifying things like this from images and we focus on one segment, we take it into it, you'll master it within a few goes. So then you've got body, mind, and soul. So that's the human experience. So if we start with the body, what just the 3-part being, and we look at each day. Each day, I would say day and night, the duality, there's 24 hours. When the sun comes back round, 24 hours circulation of the soul. So, what takes place in the day? We sleep and we awake normally. 8 hours sleep is usually the suggested time, the average time that talks about optimal sleep for healing. The body is doing what it does best when you sleep because your mind's gone and your soul's gone. So your body gets to work. When you're ill, they encourage you to rest, and sleep is usually the best way. When animals get sick, they go to sleep. So you tick that one off. But usually we're awake for too long. Awake is the mind, ego, too many thoughts going on. 16 hours. If you sleep for 8, you're up for 16 hours. That's a lot of time just being busy, doing, chasing. So I've put in meditation in there. So again, you have to remove the concept of time. It's not just 888. I like to explain it in that way, but flow. There's no such thing as time when you're in the soul. So when I'm in that, I know that I'm getting so much more out of it. And then when I'm awake, in my awakened state, I'm conscious. I'm choosing. I'm learning. I'm developing. Meditation, I call that flow. So if I'm not meditating, I'm walking. I'm exercising. I'm hiking. I'm writing, as I do quite a lot now. I'm always learning audible books. So that's just within our cycles of the body. Then a bit more our mind. Easy when you just split it down. Just the three things to focus on your mind. Your mind is your ego. It's the only thing in life that you have to work on. Remember, your mind tries to take over. Your soul's the truth. As a soul coach, my job is to bring awareness to your ego, which is not the truth. It's the mask. It's the mirror. It creates a maze. It gets in the way. So your mind out the way. So if we just simplify things for the mind, you focus on your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So your thoughts, mind, words are from the body. Actions is thoughts plus words equals action. It's your sun. Act, shone. Your sun shines. Thoughts, words, and actions. So my thoughts trigger my feelings. If I focus on positive thoughts, then I have positive feelings. It's a mirror. When I think about something and it's a bad thought, I'm now cautious with my words and I choose not to let that out of my body. I thought it come. It was there. I had a really bad thought. I had an evil thought. I had an aggressive thought. My ego's kicking off all the time, but it's a little imposter inside my body. It's running riot inside. I'm not letting it out, though. I'm not letting it into the world to be used as a truth. I'm controlling it. I have a choice. My words. It's simple with the duality on your words. So thoughts, you're aware of them. You notice they come and go. When you're aware of them, you choose that one. Right, I've pulled that one in. That feels good. Now I speak it. That's my truth. My actions, you don't have to think about the actions. You can go back and recall what you have done and how you changed it. But if you're true to your thoughts and words, the actions follow. You'll get the inkling. You'll get the gut feeling. You get the guidance to say, go and do it. Speak it. It's clear as. And then the spiritual aspect of this human experience. A human experience, a spiritual being having a human experience. That's the soul. Create. When your mind's not then thinking, your mind's allowed to create based on your feelings inside the body. It creates with images, the imagination. Experience for your soul. Then your mind creates for the soul to have the experience, takes it on a soul journey, solar coaster. And then when you're having that experience, these feelings inside your body, you remember them. And you consciously say, remember, I've been here before. Deja vu. Can you see? You reignite it. You remember it. You remind yourself of it. You rewire your thoughts so those feelings stay. You rechange, you rephrase, you reword, you redescribe. All in the words. So our mind, we can go back and revisit. And in that, we can reword our story. We change the words that we use. That horrible experience, that painful experience, that experience that changed my life. That was my low point. That was my defining part of my story. That was when I really changed gears. That's when I found God. I go back each time. So when you go back initially, it feels fresh. It feels heart heavy. When you're now aware and you go back, it's just part of your story. And when you're now here, from nowhere, you're now here every time you get a choice. So you don't go through the bad anymore. You just know that don't feel right. I say no now. And I think that was it for this. Yeah, this was it. So that was effectively the journey of the soul. And I've realized we are a spiritual being. We're looking things through the human experience because we've got a mind to process it and we've got a body to feel it, to make senses of the body. Go back to duality first. Most of us, I'm speaking for the masses now, cannot even make a simple decision, even though the answers are clearly in your face, even though that doesn't feel right at all, doesn't make any sense. They're telling me one thing, but I'm seeing it, and I still can't even say no to it. And then it don't feel right, and then you get frustrated, then you beat yourself up, then you got anxious, and I've got mental health now. It didn't feel right, but you still went against your gut. You get invited out, and you really don't want to go. You really don't want to go. Oh, go on, please come, please come. You don't want to go. Your soul's saying, don't go. Your body's saying, nah, I'm not in line with this. But you go. And it was the worst night of your life. You get drunk, you lost your keys, you got robbed. Why did I go? I knew I shouldn't. Your ego got in the way. Trust in your gut more. I've really gone with that. And this is where it comes back to the start of this. My role is service, and my role is to give these messages. And this is as best as I can do at the moment. When more people start grasping of how good things start getting when you do connect with yourself, your soul, God, then we take this to a new dimension. When you come on the meditations, you feel the energy. That's coming through me, that's being shared, and that's being created by each other person on the call. That's real. That's God. And that's what I mean. Like this whole journey I've just explained, but yet then we go back into our life and now we're waiting for something to happen and we get stressed about that. This is the truth, your feelings, the way you view the world. Just know that every darkness you're being shown now is being shown to you because you're aware, but you're ready to receive it now. That was really bad. But trust God, trust yourself. If you're watching now that I'm calm and I'm watching this and going, God, they're kicking off, but I'm calm. It's just a story for me to take in. It's for me to learn. It's for me to connect more dots to my life. So I'm going to leave that one there. So this is just the root of the soul. And I encourage people, play around with it. Have a little look at the different ways that you can start mapping your body to a building, to a mountain. Play around with that part. Look at the enlightenment part now. In light, in mind, the light bulb. There's a coil, your chakras. You go all the way up first, then bing, light body, light mind, enlightenment. Perfect. Christ consciousness is being conscious that Christ is within you. From hello to halo. Do the journey. Go through the bases. That's your awareness. And soon it'll just be an instant straight up there. So every morning you can go straight to the highest point, knowing that you've done what you needed to for the day, and then you let the day unfold. Then you do service. Then you go into creation. Then you can rest, enjoy, learn. There's so much you can start adding to it as well. So, any questions, people? And as I said, this was just a presentation. The things that I've got in store, which I will start introducing into some of the meditations as best I can. The plan was to use certain music and kind of talk you through. Focus on this. Now listen to this. Look at your breathing. Take it up past the heart. Come back down. Like it's kind of a guided through. So some of the meditations will be mixed up slightly. And we're going to do all sorts of topics. I'll have more of a timetable, and my ask for people, if you want me to discuss anything over this month, please let me know. I've got a real good talk lined up on death. But again, this week's just told that certain things have happened, certain things took place, like literally before it's going to go live. It's not ready yet, and I feel there's a reason for that too. So I'm trusting each time now. And I 3 times, people, mind, body, soul, 3 times, if you get the sign of 3 things, that should be the final one is 3. I always work on 3s now. If something happens 3 times, or as an example, going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym today. I wake up, it's raining. Okay, I'll wait a tiny bit later on. Then I can't find my wallet. Look, what's going on? I can't find it. It was just here. That's my second sign. I take that as a sign. And then my shorts are wet. Not going to the gym. But I'm paying attention even by that first one. It's raining today. That's strange. Like little things. Rain won't stop me. But then all of a sudden, second, and then I accept that. And there's many times I find myself trying to beat myself up, catch myself, remind myself, and you constantly get into those flows. But trust God, trust yourself, trust your soul. That's what it keeps coming back to all the time. Simple stuff, and it will make our life a lot easier when we go into this next phase, because we're going to have a lot more creation for us to get inspired by. We're going to have a lot more creation to show us what we are capable of. We're going to also get a lot of technology that's going to give, like I said, the cannabis will like ignite those feelings in your body. Well, technology where they talk about like med beds and things like that, and we're going to get different foods. You're going to get loads of stuff inside the body stimulated. I use music as a reference. The music I'm finding right now does a different thing to your body. Every sound that gets created is a new key or instrument note that's being played in your body. And they're finding more and more high-pitched sounds, and they're finding different ways now they're working like digitalized sounds and stuff as well. Again, it's more experience for the soul. And then coming back to the body part as well, the playing around with your body, looking at it as one connective tissue. I'll go into a few nice stretches and stuff with there. If you start from the sole of your feet as energy, and then you can imagine Star Wars or Independence Day, and all the spaceships are flying through all these different things. Imagine that's your body, and your soul's just going, right, there's a route path, and it goes, finds a space, gets up to the top. Then you come back down again. Every day's a new day, right? Let's find a different journey. When you dislodge, I'd say, certain things that are stuck down, it's gunked up. When you say you're uptight, we've tightened up in our muscles. We get quite tense. When you change all that, it's a different route for the soul. It's a different experience. The more experience you have, the more you can be guided by your soul. And because you've done it a number of times with awareness, it makes a lot more sense now. Thank you, Harry, for your hard work. So interesting. Looking forward to these meditations. Thank you as always. You are welcome. So, people, on Monday, I've just got a combination of music, just cool music that I go to the gym every day, and I go on the stairs to start my session all the time. I start on the stairs now, and my routine is very basic. However, it's the consistency. I don't have to do anything like I used to. It's maintenance, but I'm adding all the time. But the stairs for me now, it's like in my head, I close my eyes. I've been listening to all sorts of music. I am walking up to heaven. And as I leave my body, I'm up there with God and my insights. If you do my rumble tomorrow, you'll see what all popped up to me, and I've created it all today. It's going to drop a few dominoes tomorrow. It's going to poke a few people too. It's going to speed up this awakening process. All come to me on the stairs. So every day now I go into the gym, I make sure I walk up to the highest point in my kingdom, and I'm up there, and then I just let my body go into emotion, locomotion. My mind is off creating, and now I'm working on just my breath. My body, and it's amazing. It's magical. So if you got the stairs, I'm going to create a meditation just for people on the stairs, because it's really cool. It's really cool. And you'll start seeing how your endurance will improve. You'll start getting maybe inspired to complete a 5K, or go and do a hike, or go and do something maybe outside of the comfort zone. But now you're more confident because you're in tune with your body. You're in alignment with your body. It's magic. You are very welcome, Kelly. So people, have an amazing rest of your day wherever you are. I'll upload this as well. Tomorrow I'm going to do a brief video on YouTube and show you that God's law always works. So for any of you that have signed up to, not even signed up, any of you that have done a free trial on a product or an app, and you try it, it's not the right product, it doesn't work, it's not for you, not what you thought it was, didn't use it at all, and then someone takes a payment out of your account. That happened to me, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do. I got my money back finally. Persistent, but stuck in God's law. And the amount of time, I'm going to go through the whole email chain, because the lady is now refusing to get back to me. But I'm going to go through the whole email chain and show you how you do it honorably. I'll show you how no laws are being broken. They'll say that you've agreed to a contract, but I'm going to show you I haven't agreed to anything. And I'm going to show you the way that I put the questions where I trapped her, and I caught her lying. And in the end, I made her realize that she was lying, and she was then refusing to give me. That you could see you'll see the way that I go through it all tomorrow. It's really simple. I got my money back. And I feel like it's a little thing, but that just shows you that when you haven't done anything wrong and you know it, and you're coming from a place of love, and you're coming from a place of being honorable, because the amount of times where there was nearly a time where I went personal, nearly a time. You'll see it all works. So I'll do a quick one on that tomorrow. It's a real easy one, and it'll start changing way that we can just start standing on our truth, but knowing the law is three things. So that'll be tomorrow earlier. I'll post that, and then we'll do a rumble tomorrow evening time in the UK, which I'll do at it'll be 9 o'clock in the UK time tomorrow. So everyone have a great end to your day. Any insights, anyone that watches the recording after, please leave your comments and give some of those a go with the meditations when you go for a walk, when you're just looking at creation. See if you can turn it inwards always. Yes to that, Kelly. Yeah, for me, that's a guarantee. It all comes back. It may be not his real name. Take care, everyone. See you all soon.